Hey, I want to welcome Kennesaw Happenings podcast. We have a guest on that's across the town, and I've known him for a few years. And so he runs an academy called the Coding Academy. So we're going to talk really to Daryl, and then if Jasmine wants to jump on in, she's got some other things she's doing. So, Daryl, if you could tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into the podcast.
Absolutely. First, I want to just say thank you, Mr. Pete Kane and Kennesaw Happenings, for inviting us here. It's an honor to be here to join you and catch up with you. It's good seeing you, my friend, and just being able to speak to the community. So my name is Daryl Pickett. I'm out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. And my wife and I, we were able to put together a training organization called iCode Academy that delves in the medical billing and coding space. We train individuals to become certified, and then we also assist them with job placement in the market. And one of the great things about medical billing and coding, it is one of the fastest growing industries in the US. It is a work from home opportunity because 90% of medical coders work from home. So the community that we serve is a wide variety or wide range of individuals. We're talking about your individual who's in their retirement age, looking for something they can work from home, don't want to quite quit work, but they want to do something that allows them some flexibility. We're talking about your high school graduate that's coming out of high school, looking for a career, don't want to break the bank with college loans and student loans and all of those things, but want something right now that they can get obtainable, but that's very lucrative. That is very, allowing them to really jumpstart their career. And in medical billing and coding, you can work anywhere. So the entire United States is your labor pool, right? And so we can train you anywhere, but you can work anywhere. So that in itself, kind of levels up how many job opportunities you're going to come in contact with. And being the fastest growing industry and being a shortage of coders, we've seen a lot of our students be highly successful in this industry.
I believe it. I know personally because I go to a PT, Choice PT in Austell. And so we were talking about his business, and then he told me he codes, or the person that codes for him codes on Friday. Now, we didn't get into specifics of it, but he had some turnover in there. So he was retraining a coder. And I think, speak to this, people think that I've got to be right beside my coder. I mean, you already addressed it a little bit, but what flexibility and what benefits can our viewers gain by knowing that they can do coding from anywhere in the country?
Absolutely.
What would you say to that, Daryl?
Yeah. So, Mr. Kane, proper reimbursement is essential for healthcare, for doctors that's operating their practices, for healthcare organizations and hospitals that just, quite frankly, want to keep their doors open. So really quickly, I want to give our viewers just a quick definition of what medical billing and coding is. And it is simply the translation or transformation of a doctor or physician's written documentation into numeric or alphanumeric code sets for reimbursement by the insurance company. And so when you go to the doctor, plainly put, the doctor performs a procedure or makes a diagnosis, you have health insurance, and that doctor needs to get paid, or that hospital needs to get paid for that visit. And so if they're not able to get proper reimbursement, get the money, then it's hard to keep the doors open. But one of the things that you mentioned that's very key about, not having to have someone physically next to you while you code. And so if you remember, health records were in these file cabinets, in these manila folders, the doctor or the nurse would pull your file. And so therefore you would have coders on site, right? And they would kind of work within the practice. But with electronic health records now coming on the scene, technology, booming and is getting as vast as it is, it allows us to now look at patients' medical records strictly from our laptop. And so once you have the training, knowledge, and the confidence, you understand what the process and procedure is when you're looking at these charts or these claims or these patient visits, right? You're reading these operative notes, the doctor's saying and just dictation of what he did, and you, from your skill set, now know how to take some of that language and turn it into code sets so that that doctor can get paid. And so you essentially become the doctor's best friend, right? Because you control the money that comes in or out.
Right. Exactly.
The doctor's a doctor, right? So we give the doctor all their props. They've gone to school. But understand from a billing standpoint, the doctor doesn't know about proper billing. So you'll find yourself, training the doctor on procedures that he can do to maximize his reimbursement, maximize the visit. So there's a lot of specific industry knowledge that you will gain being in that position that helps the doctor understand, okay, if I was to spend 30 more minutes with my patient, I can build a higher level. When he may have not known that, he's probably spending 20 minutes knowing that an extra 5 or 10 minutes could put him in another billable range. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And just yesterday when I was in there, I won't let our viewers know who it was, but
okay.
I'm in Medicare, so I'm 65, over 65, and I know I'll give our viewers just two situations so they can understand. So I had a stroke before I was 65. Now, my out-of-pocket was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3,000, and the bills to the PT was excess of $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I turned 65, and it was like, bingo, the switch is on. I literally pay a couple $100 for the same care.
Right.
And I'm going like, now I know why Medicare is going broke. Because that amount of money is on the table for people. And just yesterday, I'm talking to the doctor and he said, hey, I didn't get reimbursed from Medicare for this, and this. So I'm gonna ask that, we do things. He didn't say differently, but he just didn't know. And I didn't know that he wasn't reimbursed. So I think a good coder will inform the doctor, because after the fact, when you get refused, it's too late. So what would you say, like, for Medicare in general, with all the things that are going on, what are you seeing is the opportunity for people that can understand coding and how that might be able to improve their financial situation for their practice?
Yeah, so the scenario you just mentioned is common, right? Individuals don't know what they don't know. The doctors don't know, you don't know. You have health coverage, but it's something that we call EOB, explanation of benefits, right? And so a good coder will tell the doctor, query the patient about their benefits, right? You kind of need to know, what do I have before I just, start picking and choosing all these surgeries and procedures. And for me to understand what is the best way for me to go, sometimes you want to make a financial decision, your health decision as well, but you need to make a financial decision because sometimes that plays a major part on your aftercare and what you're able to do. And so having a good coder that can be on site to explain the benefits to a patient, to the doctor, and so that everyone's on the same page of what we can do and what we can't do. A doctor, their job is to what? To heal, to help practice medicine for you. They're not there to, their oath is not taken if a patient has, less money, we're only going to go so far, right? So their mentality is, hey, I just want to heal the patient, right? But they also got to stay within confinements of the general rule or law, or, within the status of the medical, the medical insurance. So having the coder to explain, this is what's in their chart, when to do certain procedures, because there could be an age change that comes along, right? And so we do it now, and we can wait 6 months when the patient turns that, crosses over, then that could be an option as well. So yeah, having someone that can explain the benefits from a standpoint where everyone can understand what happens. And like I said, unfortunately, it happens all the time. The doctor does the procedure and the patient didn't have insurance. And most physicians and doctors, what do? They put it back on the patient. they put it back on the patient. Well, look, I didn't get reimbursed. And so if your doctor do that, that's great, right? He's looking out for you. But some doctors like, hey, I need that money,
Right.
And
Yeah,
a lot
we have to keep it flowing. And I think
yeah,
cash flow is so important to
so
the
important.
health of a business that it gets very complicated. Let me go back. I overlook this. How did you recognize coding as being an opportunity? Were you in the coding business? Why did you, start and establish iCode Academy?
Yeah, great question. Awesome question. So yeah, my wife, she had, it was our journey that kind of led us to where we are now.
Mhm.
We had not previously known about medical billing and coding. We were like some others, see a commercial, and so she saw the opportunity, and she was sitting on the couch. This is her story, usually that she tells, but she doesn't mind if I tell it. But she
Yeah,
was sitting
you
on the couch,
married to her, so you
you
can.
know,
Yeah.
thinking like, hey, I need to do something with my life.
Mhm.
I'm just unfulfilled in what I'm currently doing. And she saw a commercial that says, have you ever heard about or ever thought about medical billing and coding? And so she said, So she enrolled into a technical college for it. 18 months later, she took the course, graduated with her associates, but could not get into the industry. And the reason why is because medical billing and coding is certification driven. You can have a degree, but you need a certification to even get into the industry. And
Mhm.
so $30,000 later for those 18 months later, she was taught a lot of information, good information, but none of it was going to prepare her for that national certification exam. And
Mhm.
so we understood a few things. One, we knew it was a shortage of coders. Once we started doing research into it, we said, you know, healthcare organizations are literally writing off tens of millions of dollars each and every year, saying that, hey, because we don't have enough people to code these records and because of timely filing, we know we're going to miss out on $50 million this year. And that's just, for lack of a better word, it's insane. Kind of like to say, and this is just one healthcare. So imagine as a whole, how much billions of dollars that's left on the table.
Yeah.
So we knew that no one needs to take a college course, right? All you need is a certification. You need to be prepared for the credentialing exam, right? And so we started thinking, hey, let's cut out the fluff. Let's go nonprofit because we're now doing a community service, right? We're putting the
Mhm.
word out. A lot of people didn't know about it. And so we understand that essentially this is low hanging fruit that can make a huge impact, right? We're talking 6 to 9 months of training to get you trained, certified with experience, and then job place. And then you can start making a $60,000-$70,000 a year career. And so we knew then that there was a huge need in the community for this. It was remote, so the number of people we could reach was, just kind of massive to us. We knew that this was our opportunity to make a difference in the community that we live in, but just in everyone's community, right? This is
Right.
not for just one set of people. This is for anyone that has a desire to get into something new that's interesting and to
Right.
change their lives. It changed our life. Jasmine and I were working check to check, 9 to 5, warehouse, sales. She worked as an administrative assistant at some doctor's offices, but, nothing of real substantial, growth like we wanted.
Mhm.
And this was the catalyst. This is what, the diamond in the rough is what we like to call it, the gem that we found that not only helped us to better our family life, but also other families around us. The love and the success stories we've gotten out of it is,
Yeah, I can
oh
see.
man, near and dear to
Let
our
me ask you
heart.
this, Daryl, because it came up on.
Yes.
I don't have TV, so I listen to a lot of podcasts. And somebody asked this guy, say, if your kids were going to school right now, how would you advise them based on the changing skill level and the changing environment that's out there? And he goes, yes, if you're going to school for like engineer, doctor, very specific things. But if I would direct my kids to get the skills they need that the industry wants. So you're looking at how technology is changing the landscape. And now you don't have to get, I'm just going to guess, $100,000 in student loans and maybe associate's degree that it's going to be hard to pay back that loan. You're saying that you can get certified through the academy. That'll prepare a person to go out and take that skill out there to the medical community and be a resource for doctors to assist them in getting the money that's deserved them. So go back for our viewers just for a second. How long does it take to get certified through the academy?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, that's what we're basically saying. We're not saying skip college if there you have a desire to be an engineer, right? But you got to get there, right? So imagine that versus doing retail or waitressing or, doing odd jobs to get yourself through school. What if you could get you a certification? The training course is 6 months, 24 weeks.
Okay.
So that prepares you for the national certification exam. So in 24 weeks, you're ready to sit for the exam, right? Through our relationship, partnership, and licensing through the credentialing agency, now we develop a 10-week externship. It's virtual, but now you're getting hands-on industry knowledge. That's 10 weeks. When you finish the 24 weeks at our school, because of our partnership with that credentialing agency, you got 1 year of experience in the industry. Once you complete the 10-week externship, you now have 2 years of experience given to you by the credentialing agency. So once you finish that 34 to 36 weeks, you are now ready for job placement. And here's the great thing about what we do. We have 2 companies. Our nonprofit is our training organization, but we also have a sister company called iCode Healthcare Solutions where we staff for coders. It's a revenue cycle management company. So we have contracts, in-house contracts. We have recruiters, agencies that's always knocking down our doors to get to these coders. Because why? There's a shortage of coders. But we're able to staff all coders, right? So all when you do come to us, it's not that you get a skill that you can go apply. We have the entire process that gets you all the way to job placement, interviewing techniques, resume building skills. Jasmine does a PM professionalism, teaching you how to work from home, what to look for, what are they going to, interview you on. She does mock interviews. So great thing. Then from there, you have a lifelong career. Now, what if that ain't your passion, right? Because I don't know that, me and Jasmine are passionate about coding, but it took us into the realm of entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And the person you were talking to is right. Trade is the name of the game. You get you a nice skill in a trade, you can turn it into whatever you want. If you get into heating and air, plumbing, you can start plumbing companies. You now have a skill that you can take anywhere across the country and say, hey, I'm a certified licensed plumber, and someone will hire you. Or you can say, hey, I now have the knowledge to start my own business, right? You want to become an entrepreneur. So that realm or that avenue of certifications, trades, I'm a fan of in this day. Used to be back in the day, you get a bachelor's degree in some area of administration or something, and then you were almost guaranteed a job. But that's not the times anymore. People get
you're right. It's changed. I know. As you're describing this, it reminds me, I have a sister that's a nurse. I have a sister-in-law that's a nurse. I have a niece that's a nurse. And so what they've always shared with me is they have gone through the ebb and flow of raising a family and gone into, full-time nursing. Then when the kids were grown when the kids were growing up, they went to part-time or no time. But the skill that they got in that profession, they could jump right back in no time because they were certified. When you apply and you're certified, the person says, okay, yeah, I can put you to work. And so it seems like it's almost like coding is the new nursing. And I'm just throwing this out for our viewers, just so they can understand, by getting specific skills that are in demand, you're guaranteeing your future. and you said it right here, is that there's many avenues to go into once you get the skill that's needed in the marketplace, because it's like golf. And we had a golfer on, and he didn't graduate from college and go into the pros, but now he's going into another avenue of it, but he still has that basic skill of golf, which people, relationship wise and building relationships is important, but there's many things that can spring off of it. Sounds like.
Well, that is absolutely true. Jasmine now works with the DoD, Department of Defense, has Homeland Security, because they decided in all of their VA hospitals, because the government has their own healthcare, right? All of their military, all the government workers have their own VA hospitals they go to. So they wanted to switch coding softwares, the electronic software. So they brought in someone like Jasmine, who has, seniored in the coding world, but now she's traveling all over the world. She was at Walter Reed implementing the new training on the coding processes and procedures, right? Mm-hmm. She had no idea, right? And so right when she thought that she may get bored, then this flopped on her table, and now she's like, renewed and refreshed. And right. the coding industry goes so deep. Like, there's a lot of tentacles, there's specialties. If there's a podiatrist doctor, you can become a podiatrist coder specifically to that specialty, right? Mm-hmm. And then that way you're made yourself more valuable to that doctor or that specialty. You can now ask for the even bigger bucks. You're talking about 6 figures now. And I've seen some coders make, 200,000 plus, just depending on the position, the role,
right, and what they bring and what they're in need.
Yeah, but it's healthcare.
I want to give our viewers, how would they get a hold of you? Could you tell our viewers how they would get a hold of you guys?
Absolutely. You can contact us on our toll-free number. That number is going to be 1-866-553-2928. Again, that number is 866-553-2928. Or you can visit us on the web at www.icodeacademy.org. That is www.icodeacademy.org. On Tuesdays evenings, every Tuesday between 7 and 8:30, my wife and I, Jasmine Pickett, we do what's called a coding career clinic. We're not selling. All we're doing is providing information. I feel like information is power. The more you know, the more you know how to do better. And so if I can give you the information, then you can have and make informed decisions. So on Tuesdays between 7 and 8:30, we jump on a webinar. We're live and we do the coding career clinic. It's the couple behind the code. We share our story, how we've gone from a rags to riches. And it's not about the wealth, but it has allowed us to do a lot of great things, not just in our lives, but the lives of families around us. We had such a story of people buying houses. We get federal funding. The government's kind of in on this, making sure that there's funds available for individuals who can't pay out of pocket to take our course, but to be able to receive, grants, that they don't have to pay back to get into this. And we've done well. We've moved into about 25 states now for that funding, but we can reach anybody anywhere. So please let us know if you want more information. We're always here to help, and we're always here to guide you to make sure that you have.
Well, I appreciate it, because I know being you both are busy. So we'll put in the show notes links for people to the Tuesday evening. Yeah, because seek out. And if you're a viewer and you know of anybody that needs to want to be educated and look to a future that's growing, share this with them and let them know that, because you're right about information is powerful, and you don't know what you don't know until you have this information. So I want to thank you yourself, Daryl, for being on here, and I hope we can have Jasmine back on another episode so she can share a little bit about her journey and encourage people to seek out the training they need to secure their future. So we always let our guests have a parting thought. So what would you like people to go away from this podcast?
I just want people to know that no matter where you are in life, no matter where you are in your journey, that there is still more to come. There's a lot more in you than you know that you have. And I think it's time that we start tapping into the power, the inner power and potential that we have within us, and going out and being that light. And so wherever you are, even if it's not medical billing and coding, your journey starts now. Start it strong. This is a new year. Make a new you. And thank you for listening to me. I wish you all well, blessings and abundance in everything that you do. You all take care. And I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.
I hope to have you back real soon, Daryl and Jasmine. All right. Thank you
Thanks, Pete.
for tuning in.